I thought I would do a quick initial reactions video for the Bridgestone WeatherControl A005 EVO. I've just bought a set of those tyres for this car, and when I was looking on YouTube to decide what tyres to buy and various other things, apart from the really excellent review from Tyre Reviews of the 2022 season of all seasons, there wasn't a lot of information about the A005 EVO, only about the previous A005 version. So I thought I'd give you an initial reactions video. Bit of background, the car that the tyres are on is a 2014 Volkswagen Tiguan 4Motion 2-litre TDI. Because it's a 4Motion, I've had all four tyres replaced, and they replaced a set of sort of high-end budgets or low-end mid-range tyres, which were a pair of Cooper Xeons on the front and a pair of Avon ZX7s, I think, on the back. Those are the tyres that the car came with, and I decided to wear them out before I changed them. They've got a bit of differential wear on them as well, because the tracking was out when I bought the car, so I wanted to replace all four tyres and have everything all new so that it didn't mess with the four-wheel drive system. So the reason I've gone for an all-season tyre is that my commute is about 20 miles worth of twisty back roads, which does involve going over one of the highest points in the Cotswolds, and in the winter there's quite often snow on the ground, or at least sort of sleet and slush up at that high point, and there's a set of double mini roundabouts there that can be a bit tricky to navigate if it is snowy. So I thought, let's put a pair of all-seasons on and see how we go. Having done the research, I came down to the Michelin Cross Climate or the A005. Like I say, the tyre review is really helpful, and had kind of indicated that if you are somewhere where snow is more of a exception, then the better choice is the A005. So that's what I've plumped for. I ended up buying them through National Tyres. They had a deal on, so they were £123 per corner when I bought them, which is pretty good value. I think the Cross Climate's the cheapest I could find them fitted was about £155, so they were a bit cheaper that way and saved a bit of money. So I've now done about 800 to 1,000 miles on these tyres, including a big long trip on the motorway last weekend. Initial reactions are they are a bit firmer than the tyres that were there before, a little bit crashier over bumps and so on, but in fairness to them, they are a 101 load rating, whereas the stock for this car is a 97 load rating. I couldn't find the A005 in a 97 load rating, so I went for the 101, and it may be that the sidewalls are a little bit stiffer, which is what is contributing to a little bit more harshness in the cabin. Noise-wise, they are at least as quiet as the budgets that they replaced, the sort of mid-range, low-end budgets that they replaced. So yeah, no big change there, and in fact actually I would say they're quieter on good surfaces than those were, but possibly a little bit noisier on poor or rough surfaces, or the very, very large grain tarmac that you sometimes get where they've sort of overlaid the road with a surface dressing. They're a bit noisier on that surface as well. In terms of handling, they're pretty good, to be honest. They are not as sharp on turn-in as the summer tyres that they replaced, but that's to be expected. You know, they've not got the big lateral grooves that help a summer tyre dig in and turn. But I would just say it just feels a bit more like an SUV than it used to, rather than it being any marked difference, or perhaps a bit like you're driving in the wet on a summer tyre. So no big change there. Haven't yet driven them in the wet, only on dry roads. I suspect that they will be just as good in the wet as they are in the dry. What else can I talk about? In terms of fuel economy, that's been a bit of a surprise as well, and it will have changed my mind a little bit about buying budget tyres in the future. On the run that I did on the motorway, which was about 160 miles, I do that run quite regularly. This car always averages 47 to the gallon on that, 47 to 48 to the gallon on that run. This last weekend, with the new tyres on, it did 51.5 to the gallon, so that's about a 5 to 8% increase on fuel economy, which is good. and will pay for the extra cost of the tyres over a budget, over the tyre life, and probably more than that, to be honest. They'll probably pay for themselves completely over that time. So initial reactions are they're very good. I would recommend them. Probably, I'm obviously biased because I live in southern England, but if you're in southern England and you're looking for a all-season that is kind of more or less a summer tyre but with a little bit of winter capability, then they're probably quite a good choice, alongside the Cross Climate, which is quite a good choice as well. But cost was a bit of a deciding factor when you're buying a whole load of tyres. Hopefully that's helpful for you. As I say, I've not been given the tyres or anything like that. This is just a reaction from an everyday driver having bought a new set and been quite impressed with them. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you'd like to ask me about them. Like I say, I think this is probably the only video out there really that is unbiased on the Evo, where they haven't been given the tyres or anything like that, so hopefully that's helpful to some people.